Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. As the Formula One paddock prepares for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, anticipation is building around one of the most unique and challenging circuits on the calendar. Although Baku is a street circuit, its combination of long straights and tight technical sections makes it one of the fastest tracks of the season, often delivering unpredictable racing and dramatic overtakes. Thursday marked the first day of preparations, with teams finalizing their setups and drivers meeting with engineers to discuss strategies. 19 of the 20 official drivers attended the day's activities, with one notable absence: George Russell. The Mercedes driver felt unwell and chose to rest, skipping media commitments and team meetings. The team emphasized that his absence was only precautionary and that they expect him to return for Friday's free practice sessions. Still, Mercedes acknowledged that if Russell's condition does not improve, reserve driver Valtteri Bottas is on standby to step in. Away from the garages, a familiar sight made headlines once again: the now famous Baku cat. The stray animal has been spotted during previous editions of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and resurfaced this year, appearing in multiple photos from different teams as it roamed around the paddock. Its presence added a lighter touch to an otherwise intense build-up to the race weekend. The real focus, however, was on the rear wing choices made by the teams, as these reveal much about how each squad intends to balance the demands of Baku's layout. Haas arrived with a noticeably larger, high-downforce rear wing, clearly prioritizing stability in the twisty castle section and the narrow corners. By contrast, Aston Martin and Racing Bulls opted for smaller wings to reduce drag, seeking greater efficiency on the long straights. The boldest choice among the midfield outfits came from Alpine, which fitted a very small rear wing to maximize top speed, a gamble that could pay off in qualifying but risks leaving the car unstable in the technical portions of the track. Among the front-running teams, Red Bull's configuration stood out. While McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari all selected fairly similar medium-sized rear wings, a compromise between downforce and drag, Red Bull once again pursued a more radical low-drag solution. Their rear wing is significantly smaller, designed to unleash extreme top speeds along Baku's kilometer-long main straight. The question remains whether this will compromise their performance in the slower corners, where mechanical grip and stability are crucial. It's a strategy that mirrors Alpine's gamble, but with far greater scrutiny, given Red Bull's recent struggles to maintain consistent pace. Teams such as Williams and Sauber had not yet revealed their definitive rear wing specifications, but updates are expected before the first practice session. These details will be key in understanding how the midfield battle shapes up, especially with only 35 points separating 5th from 9th place in the constructors' standings, a gap that could have major implications for end-of-season prize money. Looking ahead, Friday's practice sessions will provide the first real clues about which strategies are working and which teams may have overplayed their hand. The mix of high-speed sections and technical corners in Baku always punishes the wrong setup, and with overtaking opportunities concentrated on the main straight, qualifying and top speed advantages will be critical. One of the things that has always been part of Formula One is not only the racing itself, but also the political games being played behind the scenes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this update. Recently, a rumor began circulating that Ferrari was lagging behind in the development of its 2026 power unit. On the surface, this sounded like a major problem for the legendary Italian team, especially with the new regulations coming in just 2 years. However, according to the highly respected outlet Racing News 365, this supposed delay was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated strategy aimed at damaging Ferrari's reputation in the technical job market. The idea behind spreading such a rumor is straightforward. By making it seem like Ferrari is struggling and falling behind, rival teams hope to make Maranello a less attractive destination for top engineers. And this timing is far from accidental. Right now, every team is intensively recruiting specialists to prepare for the massive regulation overhaul in 2026. Casting doubt on Ferrari's readiness could push potential hires toward other outfits, such as Mercedes, Red Bull, or even newcomers like Audi. The speculation intensified after the departure of Wolf Zimmermann and Lars Schmidt, two engineers who left Ferrari to join Audi's project. At first glance, their exit looked like a serious setback. But in reality, their work on Ferrari's future car had already been completed months ago. The leadership of the power unit program is now firmly in the hands of Enrico Galtieri, the head of Ferrari's engine department, and insiders report that dyno tests for the new unit are already scheduled. This clearly contradicts any notion that Ferrari is behind schedule. In fact, sources suggest that Ferrari's 2026 engine has been designed to operate at higher internal temperatures with reduced heat exchange requirements, giving it a unique edge in efficiency. Furthermore, the team has integrated innovative fluid dynamic solutions and strengthened its aerodynamic package thanks to the addition of Frank Sanchez, another respected figure in the technical world. Taken together, these developments suggest that Ferrari is not only on schedule, but may actually be ahead of the curve, with enough breathing room to test bold new ideas rather than rushing to catch up. Meanwhile, a silent war is unfolding in the engineering job market. Ferrari and Mercedes are leading the charge, both heavily recruiting to bolster their staff before the 2026 reset. Some insiders believe Mercedes will enter the new era with a slight advantage. But what's equally clear is that the narrative of Ferrari being late is little more than a political maneuver designed to weaken Maranello's pull. In truth, Ferrari appears far from vulnerable and is moving with a deliberate strategy to prepare for the next generation of cars and engines. What this episode highlights is how politics in Formula One can be just as intense as the racing itself. Rumors, leaks, and strategic misinformation are part of the game, and teams will go to great lengths to protect their secrets while undermining their rivals. For Ferrari, dismissing these claims is not just about protecting its image, but also about ensuring it can continue to attract the brightest minds to work on its ambitious 2026 project. Looking ahead, the competition off the track promises to be just as fascinating as what we'll see on it. With Ferrari determined to re-establish itself at the very top, Mercedes aiming to maintain its legacy of dominance, and Red Bull trying to carry its success into the new regulations, the stage is set for a battle of innovation, recruitment, and strategy. The development race is already in full swing, even if the new cars won't appear for another 2 years. A moment of pure recklessness took place during the Formula 2 qualifying session, which runs alongside this weekend's Formula 1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The incident involved Czech driver Roman Stanek, who lost control of his car, went off the track, and then attempted to rejoin in an extremely dangerous manner. Instead of carefully returning to the racing line, Stanek positioned his car directly in front of an approaching rival, resulting in a heavy collision. The impact was severe, with both cars suffering significant damage. For a brief moment, there was real concern in the paddock given the violence of the crash. Fortunately, after medical checks, it was confirmed that both drivers escaped uninjured and were declared physically fit. The relief in the pit lane was clear, but attention immediately shifted to the nature of Stanek's maneuver and the consequences it may bring. In motorsport, rejoining the track is one of the most delicate moments for a driver, particularly in high-speed categories like Formula 2. Drivers are expected to exercise maximum caution, ensuring the track is clear before moving back onto the racing line. By failing to do so, Stanek not only endangered himself but also another competitor, violating a fundamental principle of racing safety. This is why many in the paddock, as well as fans who witnessed the footage, believe a severe penalty is inevitable. The incident spread quickly across social media, with clips of the crash going viral within minutes. The images sparked widespread debate among fans and analysts. Some described Stanek's move as reckless and unacceptable, emphasizing that such behavior cannot be tolerated in a category designed to prepare drivers for Formula One. Others expressed relief that the car's safety structures once again proved their effectiveness, as both drivers walked away unharmed despite the intensity of the impact. Race stewards are now reviewing the case and will determine the appropriate punishment. In situations like this, penalties can range from grid drops in the next race to suspension from an event, depending on the level of negligence determined by officials. Given the circumstances, many observers expect a significant sanction that will serve as both a consequence for Stanek and a warning to other drivers about the importance of safety protocols. This incident also reignites the ongoing conversation about driver responsibility in junior categories. Formula 2 is often viewed as the final stepping stone before Formula 1, and drivers are expected to demonstrate not only speed but also judgment, discipline, and respect for racing etiquette. Moments like this highlight how critical these qualities are, especially when considering future opportunities at the top level of motorsport. For now, Stanek faces scrutiny not only from the FIA but also from his team, sponsors, and the broader motorsport community. Every action on track is under the microscope in Formula 2, and a dangerous miscalculation like this can have lasting effects on a driver's reputation. As the weekend continues, attention will remain on how the officials handle the case and what message their decision will send to the rest of the grid. One thing is certain: while both drivers fortunately escaped without injury, the incident serves as a stark reminder of the razor-thin margins in motorsport, where a single misjudgment can result in a dramatic and potentially catastrophic outcome.